Well, since it seems the more effort I put into a broadcast on any given day, at any given time, during any given, say, bandwidth season, the more likely it is to screw up. Something to do with the content of my reporting over these past few years. I'm certain of it. But I suppose we can try this again, shall we? As long as I remember how to play it. And remember the words. Once a jolly swagman camped out by the billabong, under the shade of a coolabah tree, and he sang as he sat and waited till his billy boy. You'll go a-waltzing Matilda with me, waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda. You'll go a-waltzing Matilda with me. And he sang as he sat and waited till his billy boy. You'll go a-waltzing Matilda with me. Some weird little critter came up. And then he saw a jumbuck. Out by that billabong. And up jumped the swagman. And he grabbed him with glee. And he sang as he did something, I'm not sure what it was, that jumbuck in his tucker bag. You go a-waltzing Matilda with me, waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda. You go a-waltzing Matilda with me. And he sang as he put the cord on the place where it went. And yeah, I'm done. So after a little bit of frustration, I decided to play the song again, since the troll posing as a reefer said he didn't like the song. It's real nice. It's real nice. If anybody wants to know exactly what I have to deal with on this channel, it's in a year of just being called easy reefers, okay? A year of being called easy reefers. Now, just about, right? Been almost a damn year. Practically a year. Fuck it. I don't give a shit enough to be more specific at this point. There's been 2 people remotely resembling aquarists one of which basically speaks in algorithmic psychobabble, and the other is always here to tell me to hurry the fuck up when I'm, making a presentation that the way I like to fucking make them. I'm sorry if you're a talentless piece of shit and you feel that intimidated by my good looks, charm, and my musical ability. But that doesn't mean you get to pick and choose. This is my channel. If you don't like it, fuck off. In fact, just pretend you heard that next little message, because I think you did anyways. So, that being said, and now that these bullshitters have once again fucked up my mood, I'm going to take a couple deep breaths and we're going to continue with the intro. And then we're going to make a video about how to maximize profit in a retail aquarium store, so that you can, if you're an existing aquarium store owner, increase your revenue and business and your customer satisfaction. And if you're thinking about opening up a retail store, or if you're an experienced hobbyist and think your area might fit, maybe this will give you an idea of what you can do to make it work, make it happen. And of course, if you're one of the people who are interested in investing in Easy Reefers, despite the fact that, I should apologize, like something must be wrong with me for trying to save the world. I should just stick to one way of saving the world and ignore all the other things that are wrong with it, right? No, I'm sorry, my country was being attacked by Russians, and I was trying to spread the awareness, as it were. Paul Revere-inspired kind of activity. That kind of thing. And no, I won't apologize for it. But anyone who would judge me for it and think for some reason that you don't want my advice on how to address the little ecological disaster situation because I've had the foresight and the wherewithal to defend my own country when most people had their thumbs up their asses, well, maybe that's something you should apologize for. Anyways, if you are not a moron, you're welcome to keep watching the show. Thanks for watching. Today's copyright disclaimer will be read by the voice of Tom Brokaw. Material contained on this channel may contain copyrighted material. All instances in which such material is used by this channel meet the legal standards for fair use of material. I may have overcommitted. Oh my.
The way it treated me too many times before. Don't you know you love them, baby, too? Oh, you know I want you there, I wanna be right there with you. I know I gotta keep you by my side till the day I die. didn't take it no more.
And for the guy posing as a reefer complaining about the musical intro, one more time. I'm just kidding. I really should, though. I should just make the whole damn... I can do 3 hours of music, and then at the final hour, then actually talk business. You don't think I could play for 3 hours straight? Done it before. Hell, I've done it live at a fucking club in Houston. Just paid to stand in. But anyways. Yep. So, when I refreshed the screen, Mr. Conway, your chat didn't show up. But this moron's did. Mr. Reef. Yeah, I doubt he does. One thing that reefers are not. Was that you leaving? Goodbye. Good fucking riddance. Hope you get hit by a bus. No, sincerely, I hope the bus is very, very little damaged by you. Because one thing that I know about that person is that they're not a reefer. They're one of the many Russian trolls who have been stalking me and harassing me for a number of years. Oh, and look, they're hacking my fucking laptop again. Oh, and this time I can't put the window on top. Let's see, what can I do? Can I... Oh, no, I couldn't share it in time. Nope, it's gone. But anyways, one thing that reefers aren't is impatient assholes. Yep, not a lot of impatient assholes keep saltwater reef aquariums. Certainly not ones that actually take interest in it. You know, you might have like the restaurant owner and the occasional rich fuck who just wants to have a tank and pay somebody else to fucking do everything with it. But he's not watching this video, is he? But this guy, his little iReef name showed up after a discontinuation of, well, let's just say a foolhardy strategy in which he would harass me. We'd get, you know, I have my moderators and they'd block him, and then he'd just show up right up with another screen name and another screen name and another screen name, and I've documented this for like years now. Years of harassment by the same person, and the reason why I say it's a strategic blunder on his part, because it kind of proves that he's in some way affiliated with Google Incorporated, because there's no way you get that kind of account access. Previously, I discussed how he was most likely one of the members of a third-party developer who had full license to incorporate with or integrate with YouTube. But anyways, this video is not supposed to be about that. It just seems that whenever I have a planned out presentation and I actually want to stay on topic about something and it's a good topic, just about every single time I put a lot of effort into making a video, my computer crashes. Or both. You know, the trolls and the computer crashing. I guess that's got something to do with the little monitor that comes on both of my channels. Every time I begin a broadcast, I have someone that comes on for approximately 30 seconds. Whether or not anybody joins me for the next 10 minutes or whether anybody joins me for the whole first hour of the broadcast, somebody comes on for the first few seconds and like decides what I'm doing or something like that. Some sort of monitor. And it's very stressful knowing that the more quality you want to put into a broadcast, the more likely it is to fail. But that's the experience that I've had with YouTube. Thanks, YouTube. Anyways. But I apologize to anyone seeking this video for purely informational purposes or who is thinking about investing in our Louisiana coastal and reef restoration effort out here and the cooperative arrangement that I'd like to make between us and Australians and possibly the Dutch. All I can say is it would be illogical and dishonorable to fault me for fighting a war that people are just figuring out even happened. And if you haven't figured out that the Russians were launching a psychological assault on this country for about the past 5 years, then you need to catch up. But anyways, I typically don't talk about that on this channel anymore. I have 2,000 videos which I have now made unlisted or private that pertain to that subject that were on this channel. But every time I make them public again, my YouTube revenue goes down, even though my views go up. So, whatever. I think, well, first of all, we started with 6 viewers. I wonder who most of them were. Probably not fellow reef hobbyists, because one another thing about fellow reef hobbyists, not only are they typically not impatient assholes, whatever, it's easy for me to say, right? But they are generally intrigued by political, tactical, or technical mysteries. And here we have a political, tactical, and technical mystery, all rolled up into one. Fellow reefers YouTube experience. You can't tell me what happens here, to me, isn't fascinating. Frankly, I'm fascinated by it, and I'm not that easily entertained. But anyways, I need to get off my fucking soapbox here. But sorry, it just pisses me off. And if you're looking for help saving the world from somebody who isn't pissed off by injustice, probably looking in the wrong direction. And like I said, not only illogical to think that the Easy Reefers plan is a poor investment because of my efforts against Russia and against societal divide and conquer and trying to preserve Western civilization and whatnot. But it's kind of dishonorable, too. Don't think that needs much explaining. But, anyways. So, some things that led me to want to make this video earlier. I was talking to my wife about warranty service. So I'm going to talk a lot about warranty service and how you can maintain reasonable warranty service and give your customers peace of mind while not screwing yourself over financially. But I also want to talk about some matters of efficiency and some reasons why certain products and methodologies available nowadays or known about nowadays make it a good time to rearrange, upgrade, remodel an existing saltwater retail store, or to bite the bullet and start your own. If you're in an area where there's a demand but no supply, much like my area, which is why I'm trying to build my store, the technology, both electronic and otherwise, as well as the refined methods of husbandry and stewardship, really make this a good time, a better time than ever, even, to get into the business of breeding fish, growing coral, or opening up a retail saltwater aquarium store. But this isn't for the faint of heart. This isn't for the novice. I'm presuming that somebody who would be watching this video has at least a few years experience keeping saltwater reef tanks, or has been watching my previous videos and has gotten the education from me or some other reefing channel. If you're thinking about setting up a store and you haven't had a few years of experience keeping your own reef tanks, don't do it. You don't know what you're getting into. But for those of us who like the taste of dirty siphon water, or at least have learned to love it, this video is for you. And I hope to all the store owners out there that you find my ideas useful and that your profits increase, and maybe like the Ferengi Natus pays you a visit or something and sends you to the great exchequer in the sky. Wait, no. I've been watching entirely too much Star Trek lately. I don't think I've mentioned that. We've been doing Voyager lately. They just thawed out or rescued whatever 7 of 9. And I'm married, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Had to make a joke about it somewhere, but I figured that's about as safe as I can. But anyways, so I was much more relaxed and clear-headed regarding how I wanted to approach this video before my computer just crashed. But if you'd like to hear the Leonard Cohen octave of the first couple verses of Waltzing Matilda, the previous little beginning of a live stream should be available for viewing soon. I did have Myrtle, my pygmy aptasia eating filefish, zoomed in on camera playing around in that Callirpa right here. But she has once again vanished. But if you're interested in those things, you can go check them out when we're done here, or if you get bored of me talking, it's another thing you can go see. But anyways, so I'm still struggling with the chest cold and the congestion, so I will be having to pause occasionally to clear the shit out. And speaking of which, let me go ahead and grab a cough drop to try to mitigate that bullshit right now. And about 2 hours ago, when I started thinking about this broadcast and planning it out in my head, I considered making a little slide with a bullet list to keep me on task. But I thought, no, the time it would take to make that slide, it'll already be 3 a.m. by the time I get started. And I was so nice and focused on what I wanted to say until this little prick comes in. And that's the music. Get to it already. Do you have any idea how hard I would fucking hit you for saying that shit to me in the face? like who the fuck says that to another man? Seriously. Huh. Wow. See, I'm a man of honor and integrity. Okay? And I don't play that shit. And it's because of people who play that shit and people who want to complain about people like me for not playing that shit, that the world is what it is. But anyway, I got a little bit of barbarian in me. And sometimes, Hulk just wants to smash. Being a 6'3" lifelong martial artist, it's never exactly been easy for me to take shit from people who hide behind their fucking keyboards. That's just me. But anyway, so I guess we should start on that subject of how many morons there are in the world. This is something you have to be aware of when starting any business, isn't it? There's a lot of morons out there. Just tons of them. And if someone comes into your store and starts talking to you like that, you tell them to get the fuck out of your store, that you don't want their business anymore. Period. Okay? Save yourself the headache. Money is not worth that. Okay? And if anyone would disagree, I'd love to hear your rationale on the subject. But I've been in retail management for 20 years, and no. You don't allow that. Frankly, people in person generally don't act like that. Unless they're drunk or going through some kind of withdrawals. But anyways, you do want to, when establishing your basic protocols of operation, how you do your invoicing, how you print your receipts, the signage behind the counter, you want to have things in writing. that will protect you, make the customer feel gratified when reading them, but primarily resolve conflicts before they start. And naturally, the first thing that is likely to start a conflict between a customer and an employer is the return policy. So, let me put my guitar up and get situated a little better here. Oh, and I did also, in all of my distractedness, forget to share to Twitter and Facebook. You know, because that helps. Alright. Share Facebook. Really? Failed. Failed? Successful. Successful. Okay. Jeez. Alright. So, I've been to a lot of fish stores that write out receipts or don't give the customer a receipt, don't think it's important. Your receipt is where you print your return policy. So if you have a sign behind your thing that says, you know, all sales final, the customer can say they didn't see that. When you say you print it, it's on your receipt, and they can't argue anymore. But all sales final is not exactly the customer service oriented business policy, is it? So what can you do when you're a retailer and you have different types of suppliers, different types of stock? You know, you have livestock, you have dry goods, you have frozen foods, you have maybe some stuff that you grew in-house, and you got a bunch of stuff that came from a few different suppliers. One supplier has a return policy, one supplier doesn't have any return policy at all, one supplier has manufacturer's warranties that they service, one supplier is a refurbisher. First of all, you have to assess and take an inventory. Get yourself a good notebook, or you know, if you know how to do an Access database or an Excel spreadsheet, write out a list of your suppliers, their warranty coverage, and the products, each one of them that you supply, what their warranty coverage is, and when it comes to a proper retail encoding system, like the one I'm going to be using in my store, I'm going to be able to have a different warranty code for everything that goes wrong with these different products, and be able to enter that into the system and have it type up an automatic little message. And I can just flip through my little book I keep under the counter, find the product page, find the product, enter the warranty code, and it automatically gives me the whatever it is I had planned for that item, okay? And So say it's a manufacturer's warranty only, and you simply want to pass on the manufacturer's warranty. Now, some of your products might have a 3-month warranty, some of them might have a 1-year warranty. You're going to need to decide whether or not to go into the high end or go somewhere in the middle, or list on your receipt. Manufacturer's warranty varies by product. But that can get complicated, and that really doesn't give the customer confidence. You're better off going with the minimal warranty, and then they feel like they have something that you're standing behind, than even, take the risk of eating any of those in-between slots. And then, of course, you have the ability to sell warranty. You can sell not assurance against manufacturer's defects. That's not technically legal for you to do. But you can sell assurance. You can basically sell an assurance policy. The difference between insurance and assurance is a retailer can provide assurance as a service. Okay, so there's no regulation on that. And you can just make it, $10 a year on every $100 or whatever. Up to 3 years, you can offer the service warranties at the counter. And they pay an extra $10 on the product, a lot like what Best Buy does, But beyond that, if you want to go above your lowest common denominator as far as warranties go, say, like, again, you've got some products that are 90 days, you've got some products that are 6 months, you got some products that are a year, you got some products that are 3 years. You're going to have to go with 90 days. Unless you account for it in your pricing strategy. Okay? So, the products that come with less of a manufacturer's warranty, but you're planning on covering for longer than that, you need to factor in how many are going to sell, how many are going to break, divide that by each other, and divide that by the total number sold, and increase the cost of each one by that amount. Okay? And that's going to give you the padding that you need to be able to pay for the ones that wind up coming in broken, that are after the 90-day period, but up to a year, whatever you want to decide. And, that can be pretty complicated if you're not the kind of person who likes to sit there and go down the list with the calculator and crunch the numbers and get that kind of stuff done. But, that's business. That's how you run a business. The only other way around it is to have a generic statement about exchanges will be made as long as the product is accompanied by a receipt, only during the period of manufacturer warranty. If you want to give them peace of mind beyond that, here's what you can do. All products needing to be returned beyond manufacturer's warranty period will be given a store cost discount even if damaged by user. Or you could, depending on which way you want to go, unless damaged by the user. And I think there's probably a better way of wording that, but I'm... yeah, they have wonderful ways of keeping me from being at my best on these broadcasts, it seems. It's like half the time when I'm trying to make a good fucking broadcast, the damn computer crashes or something. The trolls come marching in. But anyways, so you need a clear message about what's going to happen when my product breaks. Do I bring it to you? Are you going to make me send it off to the manufacturer? Well, chances are, if it's under manufacturer's warranty and you have a reliable supplier as a store, you'll be able to, within that period of manufacturer's warranty, return it back to your supplier and they can exchange it at their end. Okay? But beyond that, stuff breaks. People get upset over it. And what you have to realize, that you're not selling a car or a stereo even. You're selling an aquarium. People can stop having aquariums. People generally, it's hard to stop having a car. It's hard to stop having a radio. It's even harder to stop having a car. At least you probably have your radio in your car. You need to keep those people from wanting to get out of the hobby. So, you really have to consider basing your prices on that. And then, because that's going to make some of your prices not as good as what they'll find on eBay, you have to make sure that you have some sort of a signal augmented for warranty, a little star by it, an asterisk or something, and tell your employees so that they know that that's a sales point. We have a better warranty. Savvy? Because believe me, they find the same thing $2 cheaper online, or God forbid at another store in town, say goodbye to that customer. Just like if it breaks and you're anything but compassionate and sympathetic to them, I'm so sorry. How can we help to get you a replacement? Not only are you going to lose that customer, chances are we all are. Because every negative experience that customer has in the saltwater fish tank industry, in the hobby, pushes them more likely to becoming 9 out of 10. Because that's the ratio. 9 out of 10 people are not permanently in this hobby. 9 out of 10 people who get into this hobby will get back out of it after about 5 years. 5 out of 10, I think, I had all the statistics written down in my market analysis. It's like 5 out of 10 get out of it after 2 years. Hold on 1 second, let me do some maintenance on my fish tank. So, you need to make sure that customer, before they're, when people are thinking about it, when they go into your store even thinking about it. Say we have, when it's a new customer, you want to start comparing your store to not just other stores in town, but if it's a new customer to the hobby in general, you want to compare your stores to all the stores in the world. You want to try to find out where you are in the grander scheme of things, and you want to try to make sure you've got the bar set as high as you can. And when it comes to having a store that can outcompete online retailers and all the other local stores that at least you're aware of, when it comes to warranty service, make that selling point as soon as they come in. And you're not only going to win them as a customer, but you're going to make it more likely that they enter the hobby to begin with. Oh, well, if I have a store near me that's got a better warranty service overall than any store, then I'm going to have an easier time overall than most hobbyists. So those horror stories that I read about, they're a little less likely to happen to me. And people, don't necessarily make these calculations consciously, but they affect people. Peace of mind is what it's called. People want to have confidence in what they buy. And not only do they want that process of warranty coverage to go smoothly, that process of what if something goes wrong to go smoothly, but as a retailer, the more confidence you put into your product, you should exhibit it by your warranty coverage, because customers see that as well. The more warranty coverage you have, the more confidence it seems like you have. And the more confident they're going to be in buying your products from you. Well, this guy thinks it's not going to break. He's basically betting money on it. And that's what you're doing. That's what every one of them little Best Buy service contracts is. It's $10. You're placing a $10 bet between you and the retailer that your shit's going to break. I bet $10 this is going to break. I want you to pay for it. You're like, okay. The house is going to match that and bet that it doesn't break. And then we got your $10 fucking dollars. So, bear in mind though, as a retailer, you're not Best Buy, you're not trying to dick people over. Don't overcharge with your warranty service contracts. I mean, it's a lucrative revenue stream, but it needs to be what it's meant for. And again, make sure you're getting credit where credit's due. If your extended service plans are cheaper than anybody else's extended service plans, tell them about it. And the best way to go about that would be to look up other people's service plans and try to match them. But other than that, you can, like I said, do the math based on how many you think you're going to sell per unit. I mean, you need to do projections. Okay, projections are very important when determining warranty amounts, warranty liabilities, and maintaining the mathematical competence it takes to keep your business open and to make people feel confident in you, that you're going to be there for them. The overall detraction of the local fish store is generally customer service. And that's the main thing that local fish stores need to get better about. Okay? Like, for instance, let me just start with, can I help you? It sounds good. It's not. It's amateur. If you're the owner of your own store, you should not be sounding like a first day gas station clerk. Can I help you? You know, save that for your regulars when you can't think of anything else, and you know that, you know, it's the innocuous thing to just repeat when you see somebody familiar. Okay? When you're ready to stop chatting with them and you want to actually get to business. So, can I help you today? That's fine. But can I help you? Don't tell your employees, don't you. See a customer walk in the door and say, can I help you? Number one reason is it's boring as shit. Number two is that it is taken the way it is delivered. Believe it or not, can I help you is a very nuanced statement when it comes to how it's perceived. Because how it's perceived is entirely dependent on tone. Can I help you? It's really bubbly, but that sold it. Okay? Can I help you? Are you waiting to get off of work? Do you really want to help me? And then there's, can I help you? No, I don't want your help, motherfucker. You know? Can I help you can sound a lot of different ways, most of them bad. So then you're relying on you being in the best of moods in order for your can I help you or similar statement to actually work in your favor and produce a sale. So, some alternatives to can I help you? Buy something or get out. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. First of all, introduce yourself. Say welcome. In that order or in opposite order. Hi, I'm Sean. Welcome to Easy Reefers. Welcome to Easy Reefers. I'm Sean. And then, can I provide y'all with some information today? Can I tell you about this today? Can I get y'all to look at this today? You mind if I ask y'all a few questions? Who here has a fish tank? If it's a group, you know? First of all, people respect hard work. Okay? Look like you're working. Oh yeah, put some effort into it. Show them that you're earn your money, honey. And I'm not saying razzle dazzle them. I'm not saying you got to put a show on for them. But these people are at your store because of interest. So what do you need to do? You need to interest them. You need to have a default thing on any given day to go to. Have you seen our front display yet? Would you like a tour? Not can I help you. your website can help them. They came there to do business. They came there to get out of the house. They came there possibly to have fun. And more importantly, and where you make your money, is they came there to learn and get supported in what they do. So how do you sell that prospect? How do you let somebody know that you're there for them in that way? Right off the bat, you come to me, you're my customer, I got you, baby. I'm gonna teach this little baby bird how to fly. Well, if they were your friend and they came to your house, pretend your fish store is your house, and they're your friend. You want to see this? Let me give you a tour. Welcome them. You already know what they're interested in. Fish tanks. But what you want to do centralizes around what Mr. Grant Cardone, the freaking sales master as far as I'm concerned, says, is the offer of information. Okay? That's where I learned this general strategy, is in car sales. I sold 12 Hondas in a month, which was good for them. Small lot. And if you'd known the freaking time I was having at the lot I worked at previously. Yeah, I decided to get into car sales right around the economic crisis. Because I'm special, kind of special. But anyways. So, there you have your customer confidence in your product. Okay, whether it's a dry good, an electronic like a pump, filter, something like that, or even a fish. Especially, if you have like a beginner's section, you can have a separate little warranty system and put that on a plaque or put that on a little poster board. Tell your customers about it. Make sure your employees know to tell new customers about it. We're the only store that blah blah blah. We're the only store that lets you try out a coral to make sure your tank's okay. We're the only store that will come to your house for a small delivery fee and make sure that your tank is ready to accept its first livestock. Or, I think really, I was going to get into something else, but let me get right into service. Acclimation of expensive purchases should be a discount service because of the future headaches it can save you. Now, on the one hand, you get your new customers, you want to encourage them to have you come to their house and inspect what they have so you know where your livestock is going. So you know how much risk they are as a customer. That's a valuable piece of information. Okay? It might even help when you sell them another aquarium. While you're there, hey, look at this spot. Put another fish tank right there. But what you want to have is a relationship based on trust, in which you give them honest advice, you get a chance to sell them additional equipment, you get a chance to sell them weekly maintenance service, you protect your warranty by making sure that their system is habitable for whatever you just sold them, and you make this a discount service because of the opportunities and the assurance it provides you. Okay? And look at it this way. Whether it's a new customer, you're giving them a discount to make them feel better, to get them in the door, to make them want to buy more stuff. If it's an old customer, you know, if they want your help, you'd probably want to do it for a discount anyways, you know. Chances are, if it's an old customer, they won't need your help, though, because you've done your job and you've mentored them properly over the years, right? But I think from a humane standpoint, and even an environmental standpoint, just the waste of the amount of species that shouldn't be sold to certain customers. I think we can get a better reputation as an industry if we start doing things like this. And that's some of the other things I want to talk about are things that would help our efficiency business-wise. I mean, that's a direct business sense solution right there, okay? But there's a lot of efficiency that we need to implement and add to existing saltwater stores and make sure that it's incorporated to any new saltwater stores. That will help us improve our reputation legitimately in our quest to get more people involved in the hobby. And let it be known that I think the more people get involved in the hobby of saltwater reef keeping, I'm talking, you know, like rich people and foundations and charitable people and even governments have a limited ability to start fads and gain popularity to a subject, right? If saltwater reef keeping becomes oriented around ocean stewardship and ecological responsibility, it would be a great thing for those types of institutions to promote. Because the more people you get keeping saltwater reef tanks, the more people are going to see when the red tide happens, when this and that happens, which politician is talking bullshit and which one is talking solutions. Savvy? That's how you have reef tanks save the world, right there. It's about educating people. It's about perceptor awareness. I don't need statistics. I don't need some media reporter to finally educate themselves. And then finally, after 15 different reports we saw on Florida's red tide, finally one of them talked about the actual cause. How much better would it have been if at least 2 of those people at the news station kept reef tanks? It's probably 1 out of 15 old weird weather guys that keep reef tanks. You probably have the guy in your town. You can probably picture him right now. Yeah, he probably does keep a reef tank. We got a cool weather guy around here. He rides Harley Davidsons. You see him riding around town. Our weather guy, he got a chopper and everything. But he's interested in coastal restoration. But he doesn't keep saltwater reef tanks. But I think he falls into the bracket of many people of the illogical and dishonorable conclusion that because I tried to stop the Russians from installing a fucking dictator in this country, something else I should be dismissed about. There's, shouldn't be taken seriously about something else. Yeah. There is a socio-political problem that everybody talks about. But it's got religious and historical roots that nobody's talking about. And if anybody would like to dismiss me and think that the advice that I was just giving about this subject should somehow not be as logical as it is because of the other subjects I have to cover, I would very much like to hear a single argument to a single central point that I've made. Just one logical argument. Just one logical argument to anything I've said. I'd love to hear it, because I like to learn. But I say so like a pompous, sarcastic douchebag because I don't expect anyone to. Now, when it comes to increasing efficiency, now, over the past 20, 30 years or so, when people have been building their saltwater reef tanks, they've been using equipment that has now recently been made obsolete, primarily based on the power consumption. Now, if you're still using halides or fluorescent bulbs or anything of the sort in your fish store, change to LEDs now. Just change. And if you still are using any kind of older pumps, buy either some of the new brushless, oilless pumps, or one of the new DC pumps, and watch your power bill plummet. And it's things like that that are the reason why now is the best time to invest in a new saltwater fish store. Because those things that they bought to keep their stores open cost more money to begin with and cost more money to run over the years that they've been running them. The new equipment costs less to begin with and costs less to run over the long term. A lot less. And to give you an idea how much less, take my reef tank, not this one, the other one. In order to keep coral growing in that tank, I needed to buy $60 worth of bulbs every year. The initial lighting setup cost, I think it was $120 for the ballasts plus $60 piece for the bulbs, so a total of $180. I now have twice as much light on there, but the equivalent light, if I would have just replaced it, would have cost about the same amount initially. About the same amount. One LED strip would have provided me with a little bit less light, and that would have been $118. Two LED strips provided me with a bit more light than all four of those bulbs. And that would have been, $240. So 60 more than 180. However, in a year I would have had to have already replaced those bulbs again, costing me the additional $60. In another year, another $60, and so on. These LEDs don't require any bulb replacements. They just keep fucking going. They're not extremely higher power bulbs. I don't expect any of them to burn out. Haven't had any that I've noticed go bad so far out of any of the LED fixtures I've owned in the past few years. Now, the power consumption for one of these fixtures is, I think, 15 watts? Or is it 33 watts? 33 watts. For a whole fixture. So if I have two of those fixtures, it's 66 watts. Each of the fluorescent bulbs was 65 watts. So it cost 4 times more electricity to make less light. Now, of course, I have 3 of these strips up there, so I can, grow my anemones. But it's still a lot less power consumption, and now I have twice as much light. That's pretty much what it winds up being. 3 of those strips is twice as much light as 4 bulbs, and uses 2/5 of the power. So that's a pretty efficient upgrade. Now, when it comes to all of the different tanks you need to have in a store, think about how many different times that multiplies over when you're replacing these fluorescent bulbs. You might not replace them every year on your saltwater fish tanks, But you're going to need to replace them pretty often on your coral growing tanks. And even then, they're only going to last a couple of years until they start flickering and bugging out on your fallow systems, you know. So you're going to be replacing your, you know, what people wind up doing is taking their reef bulbs and using them on the other tanks and having kind of like a flow-through system, right? But you're not going to have to do any of that. You're going to be able to reduce the amount of time you're spending doing that, reduce the power bill that you're spending on all of it, and not have to have that extra space for all those bulbs. And it really is a selling point when you can say that now keeping an aquarium is cheaper and more efficient than ever. It's going to be cheaper and more efficient than ever for you, and it's going to be cheaper and more efficient than ever for your customers. You got to make sure that you bring your knowledge up to date with what people want to know, with what people want to buy. And make sure you're conveying that message. Now, it's not just about efficiency when it comes to power and the actual things that you need to buy to make everything work. But now we have a lot of availability as far as inexpensive aquacultural materials go. And people need to start being more innovative with how they utilize inexpensive containers in general. If you don't have tubs of some sort running in your systems at your fish store, you need to find a way to use them. It's just a great cheap way to add water volume and filtration. Like one of the things that people could be doing that would drastically improve water quality, minimal investment, is tub-based chaetomorpha reactors. Tub-based settling chambers. You can buy these big tubs at Walmart for $5. Drill them, seal them off, and they last, I don't know, how long have I had my big blue tub going? They last a good long time. They last just fine. But people expect a clean system when they come in. Like, people don't mind if you have some sort of innovative looking, crazy, jerry-rigged nonsense going on with your big primary system, okay? As long as you have displays that show them how simple it is for them to do it, okay? People like to know that you're a mad scientist, okay? As long as that's what's making your displays where your actual fish and coral are kept look pristine and perfect. And when it comes to tub-based reactors and settling chambers, those will help get your places perfect. They might look a little strange to most people. Like, what do you have? It's like are you cooking something here? It's like a bowl of seaweed broth. No. Chaetomorpha reactor. Tub. draining in the center, chain spinning around it. Just have your water input going in a circle. They have white tubs. You could use the white of the tub to help reflect your lighting. Oh, how wonderfully efficient that would be. I've got 3 of those designed into my store's induction system. Yeah, I don't have a return pump. I have an induction system. Boy, oh, I need a cough drop before my verbal induction system is clogged with algae. But, you can take a lesson from tidal gardens and from other aquacultural facilities. If you're thinking you need to buy big fish tanks and spend a lot of money to increase your profit margin by lowering the cost of filtration, by creating your own product through aquaculture, this is just not the case. If you design it properly, if you lay it out properly, you can use really cheap materials to actually hold everything, your livestock, your water, everything. And then you can spend your money on lighting where it counts. And if you're smart, you can get these systems to flow through in a way to where you're not spending a whole bunch of extra money on filtration. You want to get it to where your main focus is buying that light that makes it all grow right, And, think vertically. Think about cascades. Use gravity. Gravity is your friend. You don't want to think too vertically. A lot of people think too vertically when it comes to retail displays. But that can lead to neglected customer displays. When you got your tank up too high, the employees don't like to clean it. And stuff can die up there without even people noticing. Keep your tanks down to 2 rows. Or keep it low. But when it comes to your filter room, and when it comes to aquaculture, think vertical. Put everything in a big tower and just let it go from one chamber to a next, like one of them mousetrap games or something. You want to be able to do a lot of stuff in a small amount of square footage, because square footage is money. And if you're not talking about moving space or customer space, the utilizable and storage space that you have, the more efficient you can make it, the more money you're going to be making overall. You want to do everything you can to maximize the amount of filtration you can put in a 2 foot by 2 foot square area at the end of one row, just completely out of the way. And when it comes to aquaculture, don't just build a table and then have filtration on the end of it, or have phytoplankton somewhere else and like the food supply somewhere else. Build a tower and make the food supply on top and the filtration on top of that, and have it all cascade in a row. And chances are you'll be able to run the whole thing off of less pumps and less electricity, and all the while saving yourself square footage. Now in my store I got a mix between these different approaches. On the peripheries and incorporated into the loft, I have my towering style designs. And then in the central area, I've got skylights. So I have it kind of set up to where everything in the middle can be reached by the skylights, and then a little extra light gets into the stuff towards the sides. But unless you're purposely building a location or picked out something that can provide natural lighting, that's not going to be an issue. Anyways, so who else is here? We had Conway here for a while. We had the little troll swarm for a little while, and nobody actually interested in the subject matter. Just wondering who's still viewing. Anyways, let's see here. We've covered the basics of customer interaction, how to give your customers confidence, how to focus, or why it's possible now to focus on energy efficiency. You know, I mean, it's been a while since you could put solar panels up, and solar panels are a no-brainer, but nowadays you can really save some money by upgrading hardware. And of course, adding racks, modular systems. If it works one time, build it over and over again, that kind of thing. Add towers. Design yourself some kind of concoction tower to grow stuff in. Go to Walmart, find some tubs, some totes, something that you think is easy to work with, good size. Go to Home Depot, plumb it, get a pump. Another thing you can do, speaking of which, one of the decisions you'll need to make when building these types of things to grow, you can grow zinnias and Kenya trees. You can grow mushrooms, grow manipora, just grow whatever grows the best in your system, grow a lot of it, and keep selling it to people. Just keep selling it to people, sell it to newbies. And give people a warranty on it. Don't let so people aren't afraid to try it in their tank, and people can make mistakes. Encourage people to buy more, Just have, the stuff that you grow that does well in your system. Might not do well in everybody's system. Might not do well at your supplier system. Might get into your system and do twice as good as it used to do. But just because it's maybe something common, maybe something cheap, doesn't mean it isn't worthwhile growing. Let me tell you, there's a lot of little nuanced psychological decisions that go into every different customer's decision to buy a coral. And when it comes to new people, a lot of them are afraid to kill it. And you're not going to go acclimate a $5 coral. They're not going to pay $20 for you to come acclimate a $5 coral. So it's really important to have that cheap system where you can just grow a bunch of $5 corals. And keep that new customer cat happy. Keep the customer's wife happy. You know, she wants to make a little tank for herself. Encourage her. Get her into it. Now, you can't go wrong with this. And if it does, I'll give you another one. So, efficiency, customer service, planning, production, increasing your profit margins. And there's probably 2 more things that I'm going to do in my store that I think more stores should be looking into. One is growing your own live foods. Okay? If you got an employee, there's no reason why not grow your own live foods. You know, it's difficult as a store owner to keep up with that kind of schedule and to make sure that it's fed all the time and keeps growing and everything. And clean your phytocultures and that kind of stuff. But if you can delegate some of that daily responsibility to an employee or two, there's no reason why you shouldn't do it. And let me just say that alarms are helpful in the age of cell phones. Very, very helpful. But you can grow your own phytoplankton, hatch your own baby brine shrimp, fully grown enriched brine shrimp, rotifers, copepods. You might even have some luck with mysis shrimp. There's a lot of different type of little ghost shrimp and stuff that you can get to grow pretty easy, breed pretty easy. But that extra $25 a day from $5 worth of labor, it's a nice little extra residual. And you got to be thinking in terms of every little bit of revenue, every little bit based on the investment that it takes to make it happen. Because you may be making $15 one day, $25 the next, but in the meantime, what you don't sell is getting fed back to your system, helping you grow your coral, helping you grow your fish, and helping you spend less on fish food. So, you can grow enough to grow enough to feed your own stuff, and then sell the rest, or have a mixed production batch, and utilize what you need to. And that will reduce costs, provide another revenue stream. Because having a buy live food from Algagen, and then the markup that you're going to need to put it up as. Not everybody's going to want to pay those prices. But you can cut that in half if you grow it locally, and then sell a lot more and have happier customers with healthier tanks. And then having the live food supply yourself, your tanks are going to be healthier. It doesn't just reduce your food cost, it reduces your maintenance cost, because live food doesn't pollute like dead food. Anyway. Now the last thing that I think every aquarium store I've ever been to was missing is the equivalent of a Siamese fighting fish. Now, I talked about this on a stream on the other channel. I'm glad I'm remembering it here. There are a few very small fish in the saltwater hobby who do very well in a very small little nano tank. And people really like the idea of having a nano tank, but have no idea how to set one up or maintain it. You can have a shelf, a corner end cap display, a prominent place where you have multiple tiny tanks already stocked, ready to go. Better yet, have a selection of fish nearby, have them already decorated. And then here's what you can put in them in this little section. And what you're doing is you're encouraging someone to buy who wouldn't otherwise buy. Maybe somebody who's just going to the store with their friend, family member. And they just became a new customer when, you know, the 30 gallon, that's way too big. 50 gallon, way too big. A little 12 gallon tank still seems like a lot of work. What is that? That's 2.5 gallons? It's got coral and plants in it, and there's a little fish swimming around. He wants to be my friend. I'm taking this home. How much is it? $150? Boom. And if you breed clownfish, then you can get some runts to sell in them little tanks. You breed your own coral, put that in those tanks. Breed your own little plants, put that in those tanks. It becomes closer and closer to pure profit. So, that's what I'm planning on doing in my store, and I hope anybody who's got a store or planning on building a store finds this video useful. And if you did find this or any of my other videos useful, feel free to go to patreon.com/easyreefers and give us some support, and I'll be happy to keep on contributing all the ideas I have to helping us expand this hobby, because like I said, the people who understand what's going on with the ocean are the ones who keep the reef tanks. And it would be an enhancement of our ability to be stewards of this planet if more people got interested because of the ecological education aspect of it. You know, parents buying aquariums to teach their children about the oceans, that kind of thing. And, you know, even if it's for people who just want the pretty home decoration or the status symbol, we need to make it an overall motif, if you will, of the saltwater hobby, that it's about ecological understanding. And that's my mission And if you support that, maybe we can one day get it done before red tides just kind of kill more ocean life than we can help recover. Because it drastically seems to me to be going towards that point. And the coral bleaching was just the start of it. And I'm really personally very worried. And I've got some friends who are already committed to team up to help buy some land and get this project started. And it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And the more support we can get, the sooner we can get it done. So, thanks for watching, everybody. And what day is it? It is Tuesday morning. Hope y'all have a good week. Hope your Monday wasn't too much of a Monday. And y'all take it easy, but don't take it all. Peace. Ooh, I got to turn that off, don't I? I knew that was going to happen. Later.